Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello students, how are you today? I hope that you are fine and I hope that you are in a healthy condition so that we can study English today. But before we start our lesson, let's begin by reciting basmalah together and also prayers. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And I'd like you to recite two prayers before my lesson. That is the first, Rabbi Sahli Sotri and Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Let's pray together. Rabbi Sahli Sotri wa yassirli amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi Zidni Ilma warzuqni fahma. Amin. I hope that by praying together, we can clean our heart and our mind so that we can study better and what we have studied can be something useful in our life. Oke, pada pertemuan ini kita akan belajar bagaimana memperkenalkan orang lain. So, at this meeting, we are going to learn how to introduce other people or other person. Before we continue our lesson, I'd like to review some vocabulary and expressions related to introduction or introducing other. The first is the word introduce. Introduce in Bahasa Indonesia means memperkenalkan. And the next word is the word occasion. Occasion in Bahasa Indonesia it means kesempatan. And the next, we have three expressions. The first two are pleased to meet you and nice to meet you. Pleased to meet you and nice to meet you both mean senang bertemu dengan Anda. And the last expressions is how do you do. How do you do is a formal greeting that we say when we meet new person. It means apa kabar. Okay. There are some situations that we can predict when we introduce other people. The first, it can be in a formal situation. The second, it can be in an informal situation. Formal situation is a situation where it is require formal English. For example, in a working context, or when we are at the workplace, or when we are in a campus in an academic context, especially when our lecturer is a very formal person. Here, I have already written two examples of conversation of how to introduce someone to a group of people. So for example, if you want to introduce your friend into your friends in a class, many friends, you can use this. Or if you are in a company, you want to introduce someone to your team in that company, you can also use this one. Here, let's take a look. The first conversation, the context is in a company meeting. I'll write it very compact, not too long, so I hope that you can remember it well. I'll read it for you. Good afternoon all. At this occasion, I would like to introduce Mr. Surya as a new employee in this company. He will be placed at the marketing department. Then Mr. Surya said, "It is a pleasure to see you all. I hope we can work well together." Okay, the second example is in a class context. Yeah, there is a student A introduced her friend named Dian. Good morning all. Firstly, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Lisa. I'm from Pekalongan. Now, I will introduce a new friend named Dian. She is from Wonosobo. Then Dian say, "Hello everyone, nice to meet you." And then the group reply, It's optional, but it's better to replay the greetings, so the situation will be more warm, which is good for communication to happen. Nice to meet you, Tidian. Okay, at the previous slides, you have learned how to introduce someone to a group of people. At this slide, we are going to learn how to introduce someone to another person, and still in a formal situation. Remember, formal situation is a situation where you need a standard English, for example, when you are in an office or in a formal academic context, like in a class or in a class presentation. Okay, here I have a very short conversation between Mr. Surya, Mr. Jermain, and Renata. Mr. Jermain is the person who are introducing Renata or Miss Renata to Mr. Surya. Renata, I would like you to meet Mr. Surya. Mr. Surya is a new member of marketing department. Mr. Surya is transferred from Jakarta office. Then Renata greet Mr. Surya. How do you do, Mr. Surya? And Mr. Surya greet Renata back. How do you do, Renata? At this situation, Mr. Surya or Renata, I think it's better for Renata to continue the conversation by asking some questions like, where do you come from, Mr. Surya? Or other questions like, how long have you been working for this company? Now, the last, we will refresh our previous lesson when we were in a high school of how to introduce our friend to another friends in an informal situation. Informal situation is a relaxed situation. For example, when you are talking with your friends and then you talk with your family, that's categorized as an informal situation. The exercise that you have done in the module also included in an informal situation because they happen between friends. Okay, I'll read it for you. We have 3 participants in this conversation. The first is Lisa. Lisa is the one who will introduce Dina to another friend named Hadi. Okay, let's start. Lisa say, Dina, I want you to meet my high school friends, Hadi. Nice to meet you, Dina. Nice to meet you too, Hadi. So, you are from Kudus like Lisa? Hadi say, yes, I am. But now I live in Solo. Well, that's students how to introduce someone to a group of people, someone to another person in a formal situation, and someone to another friends of yours in informal situation. Keep practicing and improve your English. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.